Hi, I'm Viola and this is my first video, and here we're going to talk about why The Bad Guys is a better movie than Red. So, um, above all, like, the feeling after I finished the movie was like a totally different experience between The Bad Guys and Red. Like, after Red, and also while watching the movie. So let's start from Red. While I was watching Red, I was like, is it again about parents and children? Like, I have seen 2 months ago Encanto, which is the same, and like, is it again this? I can't believe it! Like, is it again about the child that struggles with the parents that want perfection? Is the same, yes. And the worst is, like, you could say, yes, but then they added like the magic transformation. Think about The Brave. Like, it's the same. Like, I was watching it and I was like, I've already seen this movie. Like, it's the conflict between the daughter and the mother, and then there is a transformation into a bear thing that changes the perspective. It's the same, guys. I don't believe they really accepted to do the same. And also, I think, like, in The Brave, the like the choice of the place and the location was more suggestive. Like, there were like all those forests and the whisper of the wheels, and like here it's like a normal city. I don't know, I grew up in a city, so I don't feel like this admiration for cities, and I'm really used to that. But like, sometimes you can create a really, I don't know, vision of the city with a lot of things and a lot of lights, but here it's like the lamest thing ever. So there is this city, and like, so what I'm trying to say is, like, Red is the bad copy of The Brave, because in The Brave, at least, even if it was really messy, there were some things that, like, you could really feel emotion for example, her relation with like freedom and going around with the horse, and like the huge spaces. Here, like, it's the same of The Brave, but even with a less suggestive space, and also the characters. So like, the characters are like a group of friends. So I'm not saying that it's a horrible movie, because horrible movie is something else, but it's really forgettable, and I'm really sad because it's Pixar. Like, it's something I care about, so why do you have to waste your time that way? Yeah. No, I don't get it. Like, you can talk about puberty in way more interesting ways. Like, that kind of, I don't know, it's really like, you get to have puberty, you have strong emotions, and you have a conflict with your parents, and you have to accept the strong emotions. Like, it feels nice, but about basically all these topics we have already spoke about in the previous movies, like, again, and also in a less interesting format, because like, about accepting the emotion, there is already Inside Out and Encanto and basically everything. To talk about the conflict between the parents, we already have Encanto, we already have The Brave, we already have The Little Mermaid, but also Luca, actually. And like, I don't know, I really feel this was a match of things that have already been seen in not a really transformed and original way. And also the climax, oh, that's like, the climax is the mom, like, the things the mom does. I understand it's an exaggeration, but you can't portray a conflict of two human beings when one of them is such an alien. Like, the mom is not human. I don't know, sometimes it just feels she's really crazy, but I don't think the point was the mom is crazy. The point was the mom is really strict. And if you make her like a huge giant Godzilla, I don't know, I think you're kind of making fun of her, ridiculizing her. I didn't really see something good. No, if you tell me, say something about Red that you liked. Like, if it wasn't Pixar, I think I Like if it was from studios that I don't care about, I think I would have forgotten it the day after or the minutes after I've seen it. The Bad Guys. So The Bad Guys is, I think, the opposite because like I felt movie such a like compelling feeling, like I was really curious to see where it was going, because like the beginning of The Bad Guys make the movie seem really normal, because you have like a crew of 5 characters that are like seen by the humans as the bad animals, and that's because they eat meat basically. And we see that like if the movie starts that they are evil and they are the main character, it's kind of obvious that they at the end will be good. So I was like, is it another Megamind? No, not at all, because like here it's really different, because it's not like the protagonist meets someone and then become good. No, that's not the point, because they don't become good because they meet the guinea pig. That's so funny, that is like guinea pig. They become good in different moments, and this creates such a different situation, because like in Megamind he's the main character, so he has his path towards being good, and that's it. Even if it is like, I think it's my favorite movie, I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying that like the path is a little bit more linear because he's just one, while if the crew is made of 5, they could have like made all of them good in the same time, and that would have been a bad movie. But they decided like to introduce not only the conflict between the single protagonist, which could be the wolf, of like being good or evil, but they also have the conflict between like him deciding to be good and having to be accepted by the other ones. So like this creates a really more interesting plot, because the plot now is not about will the wolf become good, because the answer is kind of obvious. The plot is about how will they find a connection, like the evil ones and the good ones, because they are friends, they are family, they have only each other, but they are choosing different paths, and so they have to relate to this, and they have to choose between their path and their friendship. Like I think this conflict was really good and really not granted, because like I thought, I don't know, maybe I have low expectation, but I thought it was just about them becoming good. But no, it's way more. It's about explaining what being bad is, what it takes as consequences, and what it is like to have to face your family, your friends that don't understand your path. It's way more complex than that, and I think the best thing ever was like seeing the evolution of our relationship between them, but above all between the snake and the wolf, because like they really make you feel how much they trust each other, how much they value each other, and then you are really to see the struggle that they have to make each other understand their choices. And I think it's really good because you care. I think I'm totally in for me. Like I cared about them, and I was really interesting to see, will the snake change? Will the wolf change? Will they have the different choices but still they come together? Like I was really committed into it. And also I liked that like every time, and I think that's the best thing ever in the movie, every time you fought, the storyline was already written, like you had already understood it and the movie was going to end. Like another storyline started, like it's so good. Like at the beginning you think the storyline is the wolf becoming good and then them following him. No, he becomes good and then they get arrested. The other ones don't want to become good, so there is the second conflict, which is about the single and the group. And then they are not the one that have done the crime, but they still get accused, so there is a conflict between them and society. And then you think that like the snake has already made his choice, but then it changes again, and then you think they will give the diamond to the police, but then the wolf stopped the car and they go again into another part of the story. So like it's a really complex movie. It always seems to end, but it starts again. It's really adventurous. I've never felt bored during the movie, and also because the relationship between them, I think it's cute. Like you can see how much they care about each other. It can be sad for Red because the story was way more predictable to me. Like the story is about the girls wanting to go to the concert and the mom opposing, and you can see that the mom is like exaggerated, so you can see she's going to be the one that will change. So May goes towards her goal with her friends, but the mom opposes, and at the end the mom accepts her feelings, so her panda. I felt not interested. I felt it was kind of obvious, and I felt there were not so many plot twists. There was not something that like I could associate just to this movie, like generational disagreements. It's not about this movie. Like the transformation is about a lot of movies. Yeah, what's in the red that like really changed it? The period. Yeah, I was happy as a woman that like they were talking about that. But I don't think it's enough to make a movie a good movie. Like I appreciated the representation of something that like was considered taboo, but like that's not the plot, because the plot is not about the period. The plot it's about like the emotions, and also I don't think that really can turn a boring movie into a good movie. So I really hope that like the bad guys will create a new strand into DreamWorks, because I really love DreamWorks and I really love its work.